The Art of Relationships radio show is copyrighted. No one is to use any part of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dzinski, or The Art of Relationships. Thank you.
Welcome to the Art of Relationships radio show. Greg welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with numerous marital and relationship problems. There will be no more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Detroit's love guru.
Hey, welcome everybody. I am so happy to be here tonight. Hump night, as usual. This is the Art of Relationships radio show, people. Welcome. I'm Greg, licensed professional counselor, relationship sex specialist here in Metro Detroit, Michigan, USA. Want to give a huge heartfelt thoughts out to our leaders that were shot at, unfortunately, this morning at a getting ready for a charitable baseball game. So my hearts go out to their family and to them as well this morning, okay? I'd love to do a show about stopping the violence and everything else. And I want to, maybe I will in the future, we'll get into that about where it starts and, you know, can we ever put an end to it? It's going to be hard, going to be difficult. But I want to have a little fun this evening, and I'm going to jazz it up a little bit and have fun this evening about talking about, sex, people. Everybody's favorite topic, right? Or maybe it's not everybody's favorite topic, but maybe it's one of mine. Maybe it's everybody else's out there too. We already got people joining, so which is very cool. Share the live video, people. Let's get more people, the more fun we can have, and have a fun, very fun episode this evening. We're going to talk about what better night than hump night. Talk about your sexual slogan, okay? I gave a little bit of rundown, a small video earlier today, or yesterday, I should say, run on about what tonight's show is going to be about. So we're going to talk about, do you have a sexual slogan? And if you do, what would it be? I'd love to hear it. You can share that in the discussion below. And as always, you can give me a call live on the show, 313-614-9498. Again, 313-614-9498. We had Shauna that called last week, which was a pretty interesting discussion / debate. So hopefully we'll get more callers that won't be so shy. Give me a call and make it lively. Maybe you can introduce, you know what, some new things to the listeners to help your fellow listeners and viewers out there of the Art of Relationships radio show. So if you add a sexual slogan to, you know what, to your love life, to maybe your relationship, what the heck would it be? Would you be able to come up with one? Or would it be bedroom boredom? Would that be one? And you want to jazz it up. Not only, say if you had bedroom boredom as one, that is not a good, let's face it, it's not a good sexual slogan to have. Maybe also, this should be a team approach, right? Maybe you have bedroom boredom and your partner thinks it's freaking, you know what? It's a sexual fantasy type aspect, you know what? And what would it take for you guys to get on the same page sexually so you guys can share and agree on a sexual slogan together, right? Maybe, you know what? Maybe you think, your sexual slogan should be, it's a freak ride, where maybe your partner's the one that has, you know what? I'd rather refer it to as bedroom boredom. That would be a good idea. And what would it take to get on the same page? What would your partner need to get on your freak ride and, maybe jazz it up a little bit? I want to hear and have some fun. What would you call your sexual slogan currently now? And where would you want to go with this? So maybe what your current sexual slogan is, what would it change? What would you want it to change down the road? So I'm about, one of my talking about my slogan for the art of relationships, my counseling practice, excuse me, is, helping you have the relationship you crave. That's my passion, helping you have the relationship you crave. There's a lot to say about a slogan and everything else. And we talked about, what your relationship slogan would be. Tongue twisters now. But what the heck would yours be for your sexual slogan? And going from there, I want you, what's more important, that, hey, Angie's in the house, woohoo, welcome. And I want to know, what would it take for you and your partner to be on the same page? And also, you know what? If you're single people out there, I don't want to be biased against people in relationships being married at all. I want you to know, even single life, what would your sexual slogan, what would you like it to be? You know what? It could be, sensually slow. Ooh, that could be romantic, right? And also sort of a little teasing and a little, ooh, hot, right? And some people might not want slow. They might want it, fast and freaky. What would your slogan be? And I want to hear people that joins in the show out there and not be so shy and maybe share some things. And maybe you're going to be able to help some people out there to say what you want for you out there. It might be give some insights. Oh my God, what would it take for us to have that, freaky ride and all that stuff? And, Angie stole mine. Angie stole mine when I mentioned earlier today. I love that. And, oh, my God, I'm hard right now. Melts in your mouth would be hot. And I sort of talked about that yesterday, going after the M&M's commercial. You know what? Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Oh, my God. I don't know if I can go on. I'm all flustered right now, too. Actually, I might need a cold shower. But not only that, Angie, would you like to melt in somebody's mouth, your lover's mouth, too? And Shauna, welcome. Oh, we got our caller on the line, too. And, not only that, would you be able to, kick it up a little bit and go to the essence of what your sex life, what you want it to be? Maybe you think it's just about, screwing and it's just sex. And you want maybe your sexual slogan is piece of meat, right? And maybe you want it to be more loving, more making love and more sensual, whatever. What would it take, to move that sexual slogan to be more romantic, more emotionally deeper than just sex, right? Just maybe a piece of meat slogan. Maybe you like that. Yeah, I like to be a slut. I like to be a piece of meat. Maybe you want to jazz it up a little bit. Maybe, you know what? And your sexual slogan can change. It can evolve as the relationship goes. And for you single people out there, you can, you can have another identity. You can, how you would like your sexual identity to be in your sexual slogan in a relationship when you get in one, if you want that. And maybe how it evolves and be flexible. And, I want it this way. Now maybe we can evolve and take it this way. Maybe it's a little maybe sensual, but now you want to freak it up a little bit. Maybe you want to bring out the whips and chains and, the little ping pong battle, a little spanky on the booty. And maybe you want it to be, instead of a freak ride, maybe you want it to be fun and freaky. You want it to be, what about fun and frisky? Ooh, that would be a slogan too. And, in advertising aspect, marketing, they always say you want to keep the slogan below 10 words or less, right? And the more you can make it, 10 words or less, or is that too much? And maybe I need to do a little bit better job with the tongue twister, sexual slogan. I'm having a hard time with that this evening. But I keep going back to Angie's. I'm getting off flustered still about melts in your mouth. I just freaking love that. Would I want that as my sexual slogan? Oh my God. I don't know. Oh, that might be hot. And I want to hear other comments out there and what your slogan would be. Maybe currently now, and maybe what it would be. Oh, I love it. We got another one. Michael's in the house. Assume the position. What position's that? Michael, what the hell position is that? Love when a woman talks dirty. Now that could be awesome too. You know what? Maybe your sexual slogan would be talk dirty to me, right? Oh, you freaky. You know what? You freaky, what would it be? Freak language. What could you do? You freaky speaker. You freaky. What the heck would that be? You sexual, siren. Ooh, there we go. Siren with language, right? Being hypnotized by the siren and the old Greek mythology aspects, right? Would you be able to, you're my sexual siren, speak dirty to me, baby? And oh my God, would that be hot? And a lot of people love that. You know what? Just bang me. We're talking about, human sexuality when I taught that a year ago or whatever, or one class, had a class motto or your sexual motto. You know what? Just bang me. Would you be hot with that? Would you like, if you're a woman, would you like your man to say, assume the position? And you automatically know what that means. It could be doggy style. It means getting on all knees. Maybe it means getting on top. You know what? That's how you read each other, how you evolve and how you grow, and you know what each other loves. And that would be part of your sexual slogan. Maybe your sexual slogan right now is the odd couple. You want to change it up where you're on the same page, right? Tom and Jerry. What about that? Sort of the cat and mouse game, sort of chasing each other all over the place. Or maybe one wants to get chased, the other one, doesn't. What would that be? And your sexual motto can follow. What about, your favorite love song? Love stinks, whatever. What about chains and whips excite me? There we go. Your favorite love song, your favorite maybe freaky love song, sexual song. Maybe maybe you have a favorite jazz song or favorite country song, right? That you just love, and you can pick out your sexual motto, how you want to roll with that, or your movie. Whatever it is, you know what? There's no limits to that. And what would it take for you to, pick one out, even talk about it, you know what? And you know what would our sexual slogan be? And you go to your partner and you're like, what? What the hell's going on? Another one, mentions about talking dirty is when she is passionately saying, take me. You know what? That is hot. And I love that. When, just do me. You know what? I want you in me now. Oh, here's another sexual slogan that you can, what about ins and outs? Or is that too cliche? There's a lot of aspects that you can, get into. The old R&B song, a little bit of bump and grind. Ooh, that would be hot, right? What about Crazy Train? The old Ozzy Osbourne. I'm throwing through all my tastes in music over the years. Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. I'm going to be your crazy train tonight, baby. Or would you like your woman to say that to you? We got a lot of people that might be a little shy, and we need to be able to sort of kick it up a little bit, share the video, and let's have some fun this evening with sexual slogans. And later on in the show, we're going to get into with Father's Day. And do you have any, is Father's Day a day, do us men get screwed over because Mother's Day and all that stuff, they get spoiled or should get spoiled? And Father's Day, yeah, whatever, we get screwed over, right? Do we really do what we want? And you people out there in relationships or that are married and your partner, the guy in your relationship is a parent, is a father, are you doing anything special for him? And are you going to give him a little sexual treat, what? Or do you assume, oh, God, that's what he wants is sex, and you're like, just go through the motion? Or are you going to make it special for him? You know what? I'm going to make our sexual slogan come true for you on Father's Day, Big Daddy. Would you, would that be, right? You are my principal, right? You're my chef, and I want you to scramble your eggs on me. Whatever oh my God, I should have a drink right now. Oh, here we go. We got some more people coming in. Wrap my long hair around your hand. a few times and talk dirty to me while I'm watching in the mirror. Oh my God. And then she put some squirt signs, juice squirt signs all over the place on her message. I am going to need a cold shower big time. I'll be back at, no, not yet. I love that. That'd be hot. Would you want your, her hand wrapped around you? You know what? What about, sexual slogans, Would it be tight and firm? Would it be you just want to grab that hair and, oh, baby, right, as you watch in the mirror? That would be freaking hot, right? What else would you want to get into? There's so many. Lover's Delight. Would that be boring? Would you want that one? What about the old, sexual healing, Marvin Gaye? Would you want that, right? Or does your sex life need a little sexual healing in the elements? You know what? And you can get romantic. You can get sensual. You can get freaky and dirty with sexual slogans and actually have a little fun. Would you be able to, not only that, would you be able to role play? Maybe you have a sexual slogan of the day, a sexual slogan of the week that you could role play with this with your partner. And not only that, like I said, I want you to learn, single people out there, if you're not in a relationship, or maybe you were in a relationship before, in a marriage or relationship, and you're not anymore, you're single. How would you describe your sex life back then, and how would you want one in the future? Maybe it was just more you felt like you were a piece of ass or piece of meat, and you want to be more, romantic, more sexual, not just, there's a difference between maybe sex and making love, but the two you can sort of intertwine and, get sensual, and the caressing and the, oh my God, I keep going back to melts in your mouth. Oh boy. Thanks, Angie. I appreciate that. And I'm sure you love it. But you look at the elements, what would, BDSM, is that what you would want? That would be your sexual slogan? Would that be it? Oh, Stacy's in the house. Welcome. Oh, wow. What did I walk in? Now I'm coughing and getting all choked up. What would you, Stacy, you walked in on about what, your sexual slogan would be, or what would you want it to be? And, BDSM, you would, one listener out there wants it to be, BDSM. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe, like I said, you can have a sexual slogan of the month, of the week, of, the day, whatever. Maybe you could role play those aspects. And we all know our sexual appetite goes, ebbs and flows based on our mood. If we're more loving, more sensual, more nurturing, or maybe we just want to have fun and get our freak on, right? Just get banged up against the wall. Oh, what about wall banger? Would you, there's a sexual slogan for you. What about, wall banger, that you just want, just bang me up against the wall. I want to be the wall banger. Or would that be the wall bangy? You know what? I want you, what about the pound girl, right? Would you want to be the pound girl? Ooh. Or the pounder? There are a lot of everything out there. That how many people, their sexual slogan also, you could have, the Wicked Witch, right? And Wizard of Oz, Wicked Witch, pour water on her and she melts, right? Ooh. Or maybe that would be a good thing because, you don't want him to melt so fast. So what would it take, I'd love to hear where you would want. We had one person talk about BDSM. Are you into that? I'm not really into BDSM, but you know what? I'm about people. I work with people that are in BDSM. They're just in the bondage. They're not into the S&M aspects. Or maybe she's making reference to the song when I mentioned about, chains and whips excite me, about BDSM and everything. The song out there. Maybe that's what she's making a reference to. I don't know if she wants BDSM or she's just making reference to the song. I want you to, sort of have fun with this. And what would you do? And a lot of people, they don't have a lot of fun in their relationships. They don't laugh. They don't joke around because of typically the emotional connection is there. We're so maybe tense, and we don't feel like we loved each other. And part of having a sexual slogan, you can have fun about that and joke around and sort of enliven your relationship as a whole. So not only, sexual slogan, I want you to have fun with it, but I think a lot of people get so inundated, if you will, or overwhelmed with everyday life, paying bills, financial stresses, work stresses, maybe you're working, going to school, all these aspects, and you look at the situation to where, I want to have a little fun tonight. And can you do that? Can you allow yourself to laugh? And sort of, it's hard when you feel emotionally disconnected, right? But maybe having a sexual slogan where you want to go, where you want to be, can also enliven the relationship and make you even closer and sort of be playfulness and laugh a little bit and kick up the endorphins that are going, and kick up the adrenaline, the endorphins, dopamine levels, all those fun-filled, I just had a brain fart right now. I'm sorry. Neurotransmitters, there we go. That you kick those up and they make you feel good. And if we can integrate that in our only, in our sex life and sort of have fun, it also will help us feel more emotionally connected. It'll make us feel more fun, more alive, and not as bored. That type of aspect. You know what? Maybe you're, what about freaking titty twister? Would you want that? Maybe you're into nipple clips and all that, and maybe your sexual slogan would be a titty twister or, freaking tickle monster or whatever it is. Maybe I'm the tornado, whatever you are. And would you be able to, maybe your sexual slogan, maybe we could get out there. Maybe you could be, what would your sexual hero or heroine name be? Your, I just got a brain fart right now. What would your Cape Crusader name be? What would it be? Your superhero name be, your sexual superhuman name be. And you can have fun with this and sort of integrate this as well with the sexual slogan. Or maybe you want, Don Juan or, all the, the sexual suitors throughout the years past. All the, the Don Juans and, the rakes and all these aspects that were, what do you want to say? Casanova, right? Everybody's heard about these sexual suitors or sexual gods, right? They could just make women melt and, swoon for the guys, whatever. Would you be able to play these roles, or would that be too corny for you? And would that be a little bit weird? And you know what? You wouldn't be able to pull it off because of your own insecurities. You know what? I want you to be able to. Ooh, here we go. Art of Seduction. How to seduce men. Ooh. Now we got to look at... oh, someone mentioned you're cracking me up. I haven't even heard about a sexual slogan. No, I just made it up a couple days ago, what your sexual slogan would be. And you can look at the aspect that, what would you like? The Art of Seduction, right. It's a book out there that's a while ago, and how to seduce men. You could do a lot of stuff. Would you be like to play the role? Maybe she wants to play the role that she mentioned about Art of Seduction. What if you are the seductress versus a seducer, right? And there, you hear, Cleopatra, right? Woman, she was a seducer of a lot of powerful men. Mark Antony, we talk about, throughout time, that Cleopatra was a seductress. How many women would like to play that role, but you're afraid you won't be able to pull it off because, you know what, I have this body image, I'm insecure, I want you to own your sexuality. And this is part of owning your sexuality, people, is having, the sexual slogan, have a little fun with it. You can also have fun. You can also be able to, use it on all levels. You know what? The fun, the freaky, the sensual, the loving, all these aspects. Like I said, you can pick. We're going to pick a romantic one for the week. We're going to pick a freaky one out there, right? What about the old, sexual slogan? You know what? I love being your pillow biter, right? As you're doing doggy style. Maybe Maybe that's your your sexual slogan for the week of being a pillow biter, right? There's so many. You know what? I'm going to be your carpet cleaner and clean your carpet. Well, I'm into vinyl hardwood floors. I'm going to be your floor waxer. I'm going to be your floor polisher. What would you like to do with your sexual superhero character, and also tying that in with your sexual slogan? And where would you want to be? I am very I love joking around. I love having a lot of fun, but I'm also very sensual. Ooh, yeah, baby. I'm also very romantic, very passionate, very sensual. I love caressing. I love the pleasing aspects. So I think we all have different sides of us. And if we allow them to come out in our sexual life and be comfortable with that aspect, I think it'll enliven, I don't think, I'm almost positive, it'll help enliven your relationship where you feel safer with each other and be able to share that with each other and what you like, what you don't like, and be able to, enjoy each other even more. And I know it's very difficult when you are not emotionally connected, when there's, been an affair in your relationship. You don't feel like being safe, not at all, and guarded. I get that. But if things are going, fairly decent, maybe they're decent but not great, having a sexual slogan and playfulness with sex can help you enliven and even bring the relationship a lot closer and deeper, and just relieve a lot of pressure off of both of you and the tension. And if you are waiting for your partner to integrate this, to implement this, to, initiate sexual slogan, why don't you do it? Why don't you, I am going to be your superhero seductress tonight, and I am going to tease you before I please you, and I'm going to make you want to pop, but not allow you to pop until I tell you to. Would you be able to take that control and do that? Yeah, I'm superhero, I'm superhero control freak, right? What would your, what would that be? I'm your bad banshee, baby. You know what? What would it take, to integrate this and have fun with the situation, okay? I am going to take a breather. Don't go anywhere, people. I'm going to be back in a minute. My throat is getting a little bit sore, so I need a break, and I'm going to be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. This is the Art of Relationships radio show, and I will be back shortly, people. Don't go nowhere.
Waking up, kissing the floor of a bathroom stall. This isn't any way to live, no, not at all. And every one of these kids is so original. Way too much time with Chucks and I can barely pull off the standard talks, but why would I need to worry about it? We'll do it all again, every night. Someone else, flashing parties, losing house. Maybe I should get some help. Pretend don't tell me why you remember when I used to stand for something more than this. I always think it's a the lockdown's got to complete disaster to the loving it's holding from your lips. When did I become so cynical? When did you become so lyrical? If only the ice beneath my ribs would crack. Like I am stuck at grass. Don't know bad luck who wear a dress. Don't meant I hate you when I said we should be best. I'm a whore. Stay mentioned. Trip down with your attention. You'll be stuck to introspection. Start to call myself the great pretender. Don't tell me why you remember when they used to stand for something more than this. I always think it's happy, yeah. The lockdown's a complete disaster to the loving lady who's holding from your lips. So give me a sign now, that this is alright now. It's all I can find now, but I just want it right now. call myself the great pretender before you told me right around on earth when you used to stand for something more than this. I always think it's happy, yeah, the right till it's a complete disaster. To another name is falling from your lips. So to call myself the great pretender before you told me right around on earth when you used to stand for something more than this. I always think it's happy, yeah, the right till it's a complete disaster. To another name is falling from your lips.
And we are back live, people. Welcome back. This is the Art of Relationships radio show. And we are having a little bit of fun, or maybe I am. Maybe everybody's bored. Maybe everybody's bored to death out there. But we are talking about sexual slogans and trying to have a little bit of fun about that. And during the break, there's some people. Oh, Treva's in the house. Well, fantasy with Mr. Clean. Uh-oh, are you making a reference that I'm Mr. Clean because my freaking bald head? Or is that just your fantasy? Oh, my God. What about your... Not only, we talk about your sexual slogan, we can change it, right? We can be romantic one night or one week and maybe a freaky the next week and sort of change it up a little bit. And can we be playful enough and help? And like I said, this will also help you feel more connected with each other on emotional level, not just physical. It can help with that when you start playfulness and get the playfulness back in your relationship. But I just happened to think about something when Treva mentioned about fantasy with Mr. Clean. What about what about if you have your cartoon sexual slogan of the week? You know what? Woody Woodpecker. Oh my God. You know what? Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, right? What would you could have a cartoon, man, oh my God, I might be getting too, maybe I need my own counselor at this point. I'm getting maybe too overwhelming, getting too exhausted lately. But I wanna, would you be able to turn it into, I mentioned, maybe your favorite song, your favorite movie. What about your superhero too? Your sexual slogan or your sexual superhero of the week, or your what about your cartoon sexual slogan of the week, whatever it is. If you're in anime, if you're into whatever you're into, maybe you had a favorite cartoon character as a kid. Now how would you play? You know what? Sexual slogan of the week's going to be, you remember cat and dog, or dog and cat, whatever the heck that crazy thing was? What would it take for you, to role play that aspect? Or what about Pepe Le Pew, the skunk? Right? I don't know if any, he was, debonair and suave with the ladies and spoke French and being a skunk and all that stuff. But you stink. I don't think anyone's going to want to be like Pepe Le Pew and be, we're going to sort of role play that. Maybe without the stench, without the skunk scent. You know what? Unless you're both into that skunk scent thing and it turns you on. I'm not, like I said, I'm not one to judge. Maybe you're into that. But what, to jazz up your sexual life, would you be able to do that? Would you be able to go ahead and, enliven it big time, okay? And part of this is helping you learn. Like I said, I'm all about, my passion is helping couples, people in general, have the relationship you crave. And through your sexual slogan can help with that. And a lot of people are maybe shy. They don't want to do that. Maybe they're not feeling emotionally safe. They're feeling maybe insecure because of body image aspects. They're, whatever. They're how we're raised and all this stuff. You heard me talk about that before a bunch of times, that can integrate. Now's your chance to own your sexuality and sort of be playful and have a little fun with it. And then take it from there. Like I said, you don't have to be playful all the time and joking around and a little tickle fetish and all this stuff going on. You can be loving and passionate and sensual, but you also can have fun with it and joke around, be a little teasing. Like, mentioned before about, having her hair pulled and, oh my God, do you want your hair pulled and your ass spanked at the same time as you're called, you know what? Come here, you're my slut. You're my super slut. Oh, there we go. That's my superhero. I'm a super slut. No, would you be able to role play those aspects and be able to carry that out and be confident enough? You don't have to be confident in your whole essence of who you are, but could you be confident in your own home with your own partner? And my question is why you would not be able to. And I get, like before, past traumas, being, unfortunately being raped or sexually abused, how that can interfere with that. But I want you to start owning your own sexuality, and that you did not, they took that away from you. I want you to own it. I want you to own how you want your sexual life to be, how you want your sexual relationship to be. I want you to own that. Nobody else to own that but you and your partner, okay? You own it together, and don't let anybody else influence it in a negative way. I'm all about in a positive way, absolutely, whatever that means for you. But I want you to have your own identity and not live up to society's expectations or how you were raised expectations or whatever, okay? You decide on that, as long as nobody's getting hurt, no one's getting disrespected, unless you love that, right? Or, no one's getting hurt, you're not getting hurt. Big time, okay? So I'm going to finish up this evening with getting into with Father's Day. And you know what? We have a lot of, I know, single listeners out there, divorced, single, and everything else. But those that are, married or in a relationship with someone that's a father, okay? Are you planning, maybe you can start integrating the sexual slogan with that, you know what? I'm going to be your favorite superhero. And I know the new Wonder Woman movie is out and everything else. Maybe that's your husband's, maybe that's a fantasy. Would you be able to pull it off and dress like Wonder Woman, Supergirl? What about Catwoman? That's been a central one for a lot of guys for a long time. Would you be able to, for Father's Day, would you dress them up? And it's hard, right? You want them to spend time with the kids. What does he want for Father's Day, right? Maybe you can integrate the sexual slogan in your sexual identity and sort of have fun with it for Father's Day. For Father's Day, I'm giving you this. You know what? Here's a whip and I'm going to flog you, or maybe you want to be flogged. And you know what? I want you to be my Beastmaster. Oh my God, was that an old movie or what? You know what? The Beastmaster? Would you like to be called, you know what? You're my Beastmaster. Master me, baby. Would you be able to pull that off? You know what? Or, I want you to attack my Cyclops. Would you? What would those aspects? Oh, Treva, thank you. Happy Father's Day. And all the fathers out there. Absolutely, to the fellow fathers out there. And, not only that, I want to, happy Father's Day to those serving our country that are fathers as well, that, unfortunately, they're not going to be spending Father's Day with their family or their kids. So my, hat and my deep wishes go out to them too for a happy Father's Day, even though they're not going to be able to be physically present. I'm sure they're going to be present in their kids' lives and in their hearts and in their souls throughout that. So that's a great, Treva, thank you for that. So integrate. Think about that. Come out, be creative with your sexuality, and think about, how would maybe, everyone's looking at, we need to feel emotionally connected. Oh, He-Man, Angie, what about that? I'm the Hulk, right? What about Spider-Man? And I'm going to spew my web all over you. Oh my God, am I getting a little bit too much or not? Spidey's going to spin his web all over you, baby. Are you ready for it? Would you be? Oh my God. Anyways, I'm supposed to be professional, not tonight, people. Anyways, but you look at all these aspects, and would you be able to integrate these in your life and show appreciation, just have fun with it, and be playful and be able to be comfortable with your own sexual identity, your own sexual being, and sort of, you can have both. You can have, like I said, I'm very passionate, very sensual. That's me, who I am. Very, romantic, very kissing, passionate, all over, caressing, all over during foreplay, afterplay. That's me. But also, you can have a little fun and sort of the rip your clothes off fun, little tickle fest, playfulness, whatever. And can you integrate all that and enhance your sex life? And like I said, so many people are waiting for the emotional connection to be perfect. Maybe not perfect, but to be super. You know what? In order for them to work on their sex life, or in order to them, you know what? I'm not even going to go there because we're emotionally okay, but we're not great. So we need to be great. But maybe by having a sexual slogan or be playful sexually, that's going to also enhance your emotional connection. Think about it. A lot of people think differently. Their perceptions, their intent might be great, but their perceptions are going to be, they're wrong. They might not work. So in the meantime, while you're waiting to get emotionally perfect or so in-depth emotionally connected, which I'm all for, maybe you realize by having sexual a repertoire, sexual enlightenment, sexual slogans, sexual, sort of playfulness about it. Maybe that is what's needed to get the emotional connection that you want. And a lot of people don't look at that. So use my insights tonight. And like I said, I'm here, the Art of Relationships, me. I'm all about helping you have the relationship you crave. Thank you for listening this evening. My voice is gone. I babbled long enough. I'm all over the place, okay? So have a good night. Oh, there we go. Before we go, yeah. Would love to do naked body paint. Ooh, that would be another one, right? I'm going to be Monet. I'm going to be Picasso. I'm going to be Salvador Dali. And you know what? I'm going to paint you as a masterpiece, right? And then I'm going to get a piece. Would you be able to do that? Again, everybody have a happy hump night. Start having a sexual slogan. Be sexual playful starting tonight if you're with somebody. If not, look at how if you're single, how you can integrate the knowledge I'm sharing with you tonight and trying to help you, how you can share that in a future relationship, okay? Again, peace and love to everybody out there. Have a good night. Check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. This has been the Art of Relationships radio show. Peace and love to everybody out there in the world, okay? Take care, everybody. Night.